Yo, 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 what is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown, episode 567. I am your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
What's up, people? How's it going?
Chris Seeley.
What's up, everyone?
Carlos Romero.
Yo, yo, yo.
And Brian Manjoma.
What up, what up?
All right, guys, we are back for another Throwdowns, talking about them video games. We'll see if some of the other heads show up tonight. If they do, great. They don't, you're stuck with us. Another kind of week, because it's the beginning of the year. There's not too many megatons, not even microtons, just tons, I guess. But we got some interesting stuff to talk about. And I guess we'll kick things off here with one of our favorite people in the world, Bobby Kotick. Man's talking shit. So apparently he's saying that it was the right call to sell Activision to Microsoft now that the company isn't doing so well. I was like, oh, shit, Bobby, what's going on here? Oh, man. Have you guys seen any of the stuff he was saying this week?
Yeah, I just saw that. I'm like, you. Like, come on, like, I don't know, man. It's like, even if he was there, or if he wasn't there, it still didn't matter because most of those things were already set in motion when he was still fucking there.
Yeah.
It takes 5 years or at least 5 years for those games to be developed. How many years has it been? And they release a Call of Duty every year?
Pretty much.
So those things were already set in motion by the time Bobby walked out of the door. They were already developing those 2 other titles. So he knew what was it. When did he sell it? During the pandemic?
It was during the pandemic, right? Yeah.
22, right?
I'm not sure, but that sounds about right.
22, 23, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 22, 23. So 5 years per game. That's what it takes for more or less 4 to 5 years. So he knew all those games that were coming. So this bullshit game that's out right now that doesn't have a fucking a single player, yeah, that was still his shit.
Yeah, exactly.
It's amazing to me that he ran it into the ground, says that he was right to sell it because they're doing poorly. It's like, but you were the CEO. You approved all this stuff. Mm-hmm. Like Manny said, like, these were your decisions.
Yeah, these are all your decisions that were down the line. It's not like these games only take 2 years to make or take 1 or 2 years. Yeah. All these guys are already working on the next Call of Duty game. So
yeah. That's crazy, man. It's like, he's one of these guys, like, you can't hate him enough. He's just like the worm of worms.
He's a worm.
He's a worm. So let me read this real quick. This is, get more context here. This is from IGN. Former Activision boss Bobby Kotick has made a number of claims about the state of his former company, Call of Duty, and the console market as part of a response to a lawsuit. So, yeah, Manny, there you go. He's being sued. Kotick, who left Activision Blizzard at the end of 2023, having sold the company to Xbox maker Microsoft for $69 billion, is battling investors who claim he rigged the sale to keep his job and $400 million in change of control benefits and to insulate himself from claims he knew about widespread sexual harassment. Activision. Kotick has denied any wrongdoing because, of course, he is.
He is.
The investors are led by Swedish pension fund. I can't pronounce this shit. Fucking Swedish shit. I'm not. I could try to pronounce it. It's like sure. I can't do it. I like. How do you guys speak this language? Anyway, Swedish pension fund. They have accused Kotick of rushing into the Microsoft merger and contend the $95 per share takeover price was too low from the outset. AP7, I guess that's what we'll call that group, names Kotick, Activision Blizzard, and its owner Microsoft as defendants. Interesting. As reported by GameFile, Kotick has now issued his response to the allegations. In it, he accuses Swedish game company Embracer, one of our favorite companies, which owns the rights to the likes of Tomb Raider, Dead Island, Lord of the Rings, of being involved with the lawsuit and benefited from it, something the company has denied. I didn't know that part, that he's throwing Embracer under the bus. That's interesting. Part of Bobby Kotick's defense uses the declining financial performance of Activision Blizzard, Call of Duty, and the console market in recent years to back up his claim that selling to Microsoft at $95 a share was the right thing to do at the time. And in one quote in particular is being picked up by Call of Duty community as being interesting. So here's the quote from Mr. Kotick. Today, given the console sales are at an all-time low and Call of Duty sales are off over 60% from the prior year, plaintiffs should be expressing extreme gratitude for the foresight Activision leadership demonstrated in consummating this transaction. Damn. He's like, you should be grateful, motherfuckers.
He's like, be grateful I sold this shit because y'all would be losing money.
That's wild, man. Let me keep it, because this is fascinating shit. As GameFile points out, Kotick failed to provide evidence of his 60% sales decline claim, and neither Microsoft nor Activision have announced a sales figure for Black Ops 7 yet. But we do know Black Ops 7 has struggled in sales terms compared to Black Ops 6, a fact that's reflected in everything from European sales figures to Activision's own admissions. Circana has reported that November full game dollar sales of Call of Duty Black Ops 7 finished below those of Call of Duty Black Ops 6 last November, with Call of Duty Black Ops 6 launching in the October 2024 tracking period. Yeah, we know that. We know that the game's just not making as much money. It's coming a lot of heat, you know? Even you know things are bad when Adam checks out. That's how you know things are bad, because he's the consummate duty head, you know? Yeah, but yeah, there you go. So that's Bobby's reasoning for why it was smart for him to sell the company. But it's like all these decisions were still made under you, bro. You know, you can't just be like, oh yeah, they're fucking up now. It's crazy, man. But yeah, what do you guys think about that?
I mean, it makes sense because he's primarily responsible for, Activision doing this whole thing, especially with Call of Duty, make it this, perennial type of, shoehorned in, recycled game every year.
Yeah.
Where it's like eventually that bubble is going to burst. It's like, you're not going to do Call of Duty and do the same thing over and over and over again with, minimal changes. And it's going to be, run at perpetuity. Like eventually it's just going to die down.
Yeah.
So he bet on that. And he was right. But I mean, it was his fault because he architected the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I don't give that much credit to Kotick. I mean, he's acting like he's saved people from something, but in reality, he was the architect of the whole thing.
I agree.
Vis-a-vis, so on, or so go.
It's like starting a fire in a building and be like, yo, man, but I told him to get out.
Yeah, right. It's like, you started the fire, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. By the way, I got to read this quote. This is from Embracer Group. We are. They go. This is what they say. We are humbled of Mr. Kotick's remarks that we are competing with Activision on this level. Nevertheless, perhaps difficult to accept for Mr. Kotick, but we did not and do not need any help from a Swedish pension fund in competing with Activision. Damn, shots fired by Embracer Group. We are humbled by its accusation. That's funny, man. But yeah, Bobby Kotick, he'll, occasionally pop up, and we'll probably talk about him because he's a worm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there's that. Yeah. And it makes for a funny featured image, let's just be honest. Man, I was telling Manny, like, maybe you should make him look like the devil's like, this guy already looks evil. I don't need to alter shit.
No, he looks like the way
he looks like that.
His eyes are like the blackness of his eyes. His
Black
eyes
eyes
just
like a doll's
like
eyes.
they just he's got like shark eyes. Like that guy, like he already looks fucking evil. He didn't need any help.
Oh man. Yeah, shout out to you, Bobby Kotick. All right, next story here. This one's not fun. Meta, the company formerly known as Facebook, has closed several game studios down, including Explosion Man Studio, Twisted Pixel, and Asgard Raft Sansuro Games. They also did Sly Cooper, I believe.
Armature was in there too.
Uh-oh.
And Armature is the studio that did the Metal Gear Solid HD collection on the PlayStation Vita. They did Bayonetta what is it? Bayonetta Vanquish, the port for the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox.
Okay.
And they have a bunch of other games. They did some work on Fortnite, so they got closed down too. Yeah, and the other guys, they did a Sly Cooper game. Did the Sly Cooper remaster and the Sly Cooper 4 game.
Yeah.
So
here's yeah, go ahead, Chris.
What was it?
I thought you were gonna say something.
Oh no.
All right. So here's what Meta had to say. A Meta spokesperson said, "We said last month that we were shifting some of our investment from metaverse towards wearables. This is part of that effort, and we plan to reinvest the savings to support the growth of wearables this year." Basically, from what I understand, is they're also trying to they shut these studios down so they can focus more on their AI efforts, because of course they are.
Their wearables sounds like because I know that they have those glasses,
The Meta Ray-Bans, yes.
Those Meta Ray-Bans, yeah. So they got that going on right now. No, they closed down a bunch of studios. They're essentially moving away from first-party development of games. So this is what the sucky thing about all of this is. There's only I don't know how many more studios they left, but they literally closed the studio that just launched that Deadpool game.
Yeah. That studio was Twisted Pixel, I think. Actually, they just did that Deadpool game, and it's like, nope, it's gone. And then now I think they only have like Camouflage and a couple of other ones that are still around. A lot of people are, who are fans of Camouflage's games are also very, afraid that they're next on the chopping block, because they closed Ready at Dawn. They closed Ready at Dawn, maybe 2 years ago. Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. The Ready at Dawn, the guys that made the God of War, portable games, they did the Order 1886. And yeah, so who knows what else is going on? I mean, hopefully to be honest, I feel like Camouflage needs to just buy their fucking selves back and just be like, we don't want to be closed.
Yeah. And so the three studios are Armature, Sansuro, and Twisted Pixel. So, and here's a tweet from one of the guys from Twisted Pixel. He goes, "I've just been laid off. It appears the entire Twisted Pixel game studio has been shut down. Sanzaru Games too." And I'm pretty sure these guys weren't even. Well, he just said, "I just been laid off. I just found out." He probably woke up ready to go to work. Oh fuck, that's crazy. So yeah, man, there it is. Twisted Pixel. They did the Deadpool VR game. Sansuro Games, they did Secret Agent Clank, Sly Collection, God of War Collection, and they also did Asgard's Wrath on the original Oculus Rift. Interesting. And then Armature, you mentioned them too. So yeah, this how it is. The beginning of the year, shit like this happens.
It's fascinating how many like sort of established studios that Facebook or Meta like gobbled up. Like all those, again, like we're talking about, all those guys all have PlayStation history.
Yeah, they do. That's a good point. It's funny, right? Because I was just thinking about actually I tweeted about this earlier this week. I'm like, remember the metaverse? Remember how that was supposed to be the next big thing? That didn't go anywhere, did it? And now this is proof. They're like, okay, that shit fizzled out. Let's put money into these wearables because that's actually making us money.
Well, I mean, the thing about it is, it's like you think about it. It's like most people don't really care about playing video games on VR.
Yeah. There's a market. There's a market for it, but not a big
it's
market.
It's a very small market, and to be honest, like it's almost like, you know, the drop in the hat has to be something on the level of like a mobile game. That's in order for it to be in any way, shape or form, profitable for any of this. And I feel like they almost, obviously they wanted to, you know, put out, you know, AAA type quality type of games on the Meta, which it doesn't matter. It's just like pouring water down in the sink. I understand why a independent company, an independent game studio would make the deal, because it's fucking hard. Like, there's a interview with Andreas, who's part of Ready at Dawn, and as well as I can't remember the other guy who was the head of Ready at Dawn, and he talked about the like just surviving on their own as an independent studio in this climate.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you know, Meta came with the big fucking check, they just said, "All right, let's do it."
Yeah. Little did they know they were selling their souls to the devil.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like I would think. I mean, you know, again, it's probably a really damn good check that they just got offered for it. So, I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, I mean, and I think the Splosion Man Studio, they started doing VR games way before they were even acquired.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's
think
the thing. That's the thing. All of them did it. Like, all of those guys made at some point some sort of VR game, and that's when Meta picked them up. Ready at Dawn had done that space game right at the time, and then they picked them up. Camouflaged Games did the Iron Man VR, and then they picked them up and they did Batman, Arkham, or whatever, you know, for it, that just recently came out. All of those guys have all done VR games at some point, and then Meta just said, "Oh, you do those? Boom, we want you."
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, and it sucks, but you know, we've seen this, you know, with companies that have been acquired by bigger companies. You know, we saw this with Amazon or Google.
Yeah,
like it seems nice to go to a big company when you're a small studio, because, you know, it looks like you got a lot of funding, but it's. I think most of them just end up, you know, not doing so well.
I think it's just like there's no plan. It's like they see it, they want a piece of that pie, which is the video game space pie, right? But they realize even if they just blew a bunch of money on a bunch of little studios, it's still probably not going to turn the tide for it.
Yeah.
No matter how good the graphics are. People just don't really care that much about VR. Obviously, there are people that do like it, but I think it's not enough to sustain. It's not enough to pay for it on like a level like that. You can't make really do a AAA sort of thing experience on there. It's gotta be. It ends up being better when it's like smaller titles. Like, hey, look, it's Tetris, it's VR. Hey, look, it's, you know, this. It can't be anything that's like, you know, you can't be spending God of War fucking money on a VR game.
No,
you won't make any of that back.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. But yeah, just to be clear, you know, obviously, VR is making enough money to keep itself around. But yes, I agree with the game selection. It's like people who play VR probably aren't looking for a big AAA experience. I could be wrong about that. But yeah, and remember, I'm saying this as somebody who thinks VR is stupid, but I just got to be fair. You hear? All right, moving on here. Speaking about you know, people losing their jobs, Larry Herb, Major Nelson, he's gone, man, from Unity.
Lost his job. Well, they let him go from Unity.
They let him go. Yeah. This is what he posted on LinkedIn. I've always been transparent with this community, so I wanted to share that. Like a lot of people in tech and gaming right now, I was laid off from Unity. So he was very blunt about that. And you know, we know about all those controversy that's been happening with Unity last year. So I'm not sure if that contributed to that. But it's wild. You let Major Nelson go, bro. Somebody from Bungie Games, his name is Don McGowan. He goes, he's a fucking icon, which is true, you know?
Yeah. He helped launch that console, and a lot of the goodwill that people have from the Xbox is from Larry.
Yeah.
You know, like if Adam were here, he'd be like, man, he was like street team. He'd be like, hey man, I'm going to be at this bar. You know, you guys want to show up?
That's right.
And then you know, like just like do it person to person. Try, you know, literally kissing babies and shaking hands. Every single person that was in his way. You know, that's the way he was grassroots.
Exactly. That's the perfect way to sort of summarize what he did for Xbox. 'Cause he was the door-to-door guy type of,
door-to-door
the equivalent of the
salesman.
door-to-door guy. Yeah. Or like the person, you know, like when the politicians say, you know, we need people knocking on doors. Like that was him. Like he was the one that, you know, gathered the community and riled up the community for Xbox when it launched.
Yeah.
And I remember when he and I told you guys, it's like when he said that there was like mutual when he was mutually agreement that he was going to leave Xbox, I'm like, there's no way in hell that this was mutual.
Yeah, right.
They're just giving him, you know, they're giving him the whole thing where it's like, oh, you know, we can do this. We can do this a nice way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he was that dude bled green, man, more than most, and it sucks because he was. You know, that's how you know the Xbox empire is going down, because, you know, one of your major figureheads, you know, you have to let him go. And it's like, I mean, he was one of the few that were actually, you know, talking to community and, you know, promoting Xbox the right way.
Yeah.
And it sucks, the whole Unity stuff, because I didn't really know what he was doing there, but yeah.
Like I think he was a community manager or some shit like that. It says that he was in the community and advocacy team. I don't know what the fuck that means.
It means that he's essentially talking to people, you know, saying, hey, you know, what can we do? What can Unity do for you? Like, in other words, anybody like wanting to use the engine, you would probably, you know, to have a little bit of a communication with him.
Yeah. But yeah, it says, you know, because I was reading this off of PC Gamer, it says it's not clear at this point whether Herb's layoff is part of a deeper cut at Unity or if the company merely decided his services were no longer required. Either way, it doesn't look great. I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, what did he do that he doesn't need to be there? You know, a side note, you know, I would have to say one of my memories with him, well, two things with him, was when we met him at the Xbox event.
Yeah, E3. That's right. We ran into him in the elevator. That's right.
On the elevator going down, and we had a good little fun conversation with him. Super personable guy. And then the other one was him actually announcing my game, Swinsanity.
Oh, nice.
Which was pretty cool. Like, you know how he used to do, like, hey, this is blah blah blah. You know, like he would do the little featurettes, and they'd show you footage. Yeah. And I thought that was pretty cool that our game was on there. So
that's awesome, man. Yeah, no, and remember in the elevator, like we got in there, we said, hey, you know, we called me, hey, Larry, and then he asked us, what did you guys think? And you could tell he was genuinely curious. He wasn't just asking for the sake of it, you know.
Yeah, he doesn't. I mean, if he's not, I mean, at least for like him, I always felt genuine talking to him.
Yes.
It didn't feel like a put on like some people.
It wasn't like talking to Jeff Keighley.
No, it was not talking like Jeff Keighley, where him talking to you was like he could be at a better place than you know.
Yeah.
Was that 2014?
It was 2013, 2014.
Yeah, because I remember that we were in the Microsoft theater.
Yeah,
right.
So you were. So it was that year.
I was there too. Yeah. No, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you said that met him in the elevator, I was like, oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, you were there too. Yeah. Good guy, man. This whole story, you know, him being let go from Unity just makes me think of you know, that skit from Chappelle. It's like, how you gonna choke a legend?
So when I saw his thing, because he put achievement unlocked was like it was like a negative achievement with no points that he posted onto his Twitter account.
Oh man.
Yeah, it says laid off.
Yeah, achievement unlocked, laid off. And I, to be honest, I posted at him. I'm like, I posted a picture of Master Chief, and I'm like, show us on the doll where they hurt you.
Yeah, it should have been a picture of something from Unity. You know, they're the ones that hurt him.
What does Unity got?
I don't know, a logo or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because Microsoft, that was already in the past.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. But yeah, there you go. Shout out to Major Nelson. You know, go ahead, bro.
I'm looking up his Wikipedia. He's 68.
Oh wow, so he don't look his age. You know.
Yeah, he's kept up pretty well for his age. So hopefully, gets up on his feet and gets to do what he wants to do, man.
Yeah. Major Nelson's cool, man. All right, moving on here. Ooh, Brett showed up.
What's up, Brett?
Big fucking deal.
Whoa.
Who cares? Fuck that guy.
Yeah, right. He's an asshole. Good stuff. All right, moving on to the next story. And Chris, you'll like this one. Nintendo share price has dropped 33% in the last 5 months in Japan. Uh-oh.
How did that happen?
People aren't buying the fucking system. That's what's happening. Well, go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, they have two problems. Like I said, we talked about this when the system launched. There's a surge, right? It's a new thing, and there's whales and stuff, and they're like touting how they sold like 3 million systems in like record time and stuff. But ever since then, right, even during the holidays, I noticed that system was pretty easy to find.
Yeah,
there was not this problem like with the Switch of like during the holidays or peak times you can't find it. Now I've seen plenty around, and while that's anecdotal, the article itself says that their sales have fallen. Now they said it's still higher than the Switch at the same amount of time, but here's the problem: they don't have a key title on the system yet. It's 6 months in, and they don't have the app that defines it. It's not Mario Kart. It's not Metroid Prime 4. It's not Pokemon. It's none of those. And those are all, except for Mario Kart, both of those are, cross-gen, right? Because you can play them on the Switch.
Was it supposed to be any of those? And it failed, or like they just was it supposed to be Donkey Kong and it just didn't do a good job, or did they just not launch with a Zelda? I'm curious.
Well, I mean, if they were going to launch with Zelda, they timed it poorly. Was
Donkey Kong supposed to be their Zelda, and just like it was like everyone's like, I mean, it's good, but
It was supposed to be like their Mario Odyssey, I guess maybe, but it's not the thing. It's not going to be what they were hoping is Mario Kart World or whatever. It was going to be like Mario Kart 8. They were going to carry that success because remember, Mario Kart 8 is still the highest selling game on the Switch, like far past everything.
Which one?
Mario Kart 8.
Like so they
Which Switch?
The first one.
The fact that I have to ask these questions is stupid.
Yeah, I don't understand why you're confused. It's for the Switch.
No, I was just having to say the fact that we have to clarify the fact that Mario Kart is just multi-generational.
Yeah, that's true. The Wii U. Yeah.
Yeah, like the fact that it's been across 3 generations that I have to ask the question. Like, I know contextually which one we're talking about. I'm just being an ass.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
But so they have that problem with the sales dropping, and they don't have a key title. And then they have a second problem where investors are worried with the ramp prices. So you have ramp prices going way up. The market's volatile. They have, of course, they have long-term contracts, but that doesn't mean shit. And Nintendo doesn't have NVIDIA money or Meta money or any of these other guys. The cycle of AI goes well beyond their pocketbook. So they have the problem where they could lose out on supply. And then what's going to happen? And what everybody feared is that what Furukawa stepped around where they asked, well, are you going to increase the console prices to if your profit margin falls? And of course he said he had no comment. And it's like, we know the obvious answer to that. They would have to. right?
Yeah.
They're not going to take a loss on the system sales, and they don't want to break even. As a matter of fact, ours is marked up so much that there's some padding in there that they could eat some cost, but if the RAM prices go up 50% on them, then they can't. Then they have to. They're going to have to announce, because of market conditions, where we'll see the same old statement go out, like, and Tony will get an email, Rich will get an email, all this stuff, and market conditions, tariffs, same old shit. And then what happens? Their sales fall more because it's now out of reach of some consumers, depending on it's going to be no matter what. If it goes up $50, another $100, I don't know. Look how much Xbox has gone up. Look how much PlayStation has gone up. So they could do the same thing too. They could we'll get it. We'll bump the price. Yeah, but you're edging out some of your consumers. They are not going to buy in a $550 Switch or $600 Switch 2. They're not going to do it. So they have that problem, and investors realize that. That's why they're selling off. So, and the more they dance around this, and especially if they do announce a price increase, there'll be another sell-off. I guarantee it.
Oh man, that's crazy. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, you're right. It's like I think what they expected was that the new Mario Kart World would be as big as Mario Kart 8, but that didn't happen. A lot of people were actually pretty upset with the game. Like they made too many changes that they weren't happy with.
And they said it was like empty, and
yeah,
it wasn't tight like the other ones. And I saw some even Mario Kart fans were saying they're going back and playing the old one. They would prefer that 8 to World. And so you have that problem where they tried this again. They dipped in the well of the evergreen title. This has happened before with Wii Fit. Oh, Wii Fit, mega sales, whatever. We'll just make more of that, right? And what happens? Nobody cares the second time around. You can't dip in that well anymore. The evergreen title only comes around. It's like lightning, it just comes around one time. And unless you can top the conditions that created it in the first place, you're not going to hit it the second time.
Yeah.
Well, I also feel like they fell into the same trap a lot of games do of like, let's make things bigger and seamless and like, let's drive to the next race. And like, if anybody would like that shit, it would be me, right? Like I'm the guy who like PlayStation Home, right? Like, and all the extra steps involved, like, to launching a game. Was it efficient? No. Was it kind of neat? Sure. But like, driving to the next race, that shit just doesn't necessarily matter. And even I'm moving away from like, I still like big open world games. But like, has anybody thought about, I don't know, making a whole game take place in a few square city blocks of extremely detailed interactive systems? Just a fucking thought. Like, we have fucking looper games, like time loop games, that still don't pay that much attention to like why should there be apartment building doors that don't have a person behind them? Like, why do we need to have all of, like, it kind of reminds me of like can we scale something back down to the size of Shenmue and make it super dense? Like, it just I guess it just baffles me that we are still in the year of sweet baby Jesus 2025, 2026, still doing this whole, like, I don't know, let's just make you move between objectives and take time doing nothing. Like we're not generating fun. We're wasting people's fucking time. And at a certain point, I've got to start asking myself the question, although I've stopped asking myself this question in my personal life, and I suggest that highly for everybody else. But in this instance, I have to ask, like, is it willing incompetence or is it malice? And does it fucking matter anymore? Like, it's, sure, you're making me, in this instance, drive to the next race. Do you not realize that it's not fun? Or are you trying to make it not fun so that the other parts of the game seem more fun? Or you're trying to sell me a shortcut? Or, like, what are you trying to do here? And And I guess the question I'm starting to ask myself is, does it matter? Do I care? Like, is it my responsibility to fucking make excuses for a multi-million-dollar company that doesn't know their ass from a hole in the ground? Like, look, man, if you guys are just spreading out the amount of time that I'm having fun and interjecting pointless fucking Gohan saves a village side quests in here, like, that's not overall increasing my experience. And I'm kind of fucking sick of trying to figure out or care why. And I've just kind of gone more into, hey, fuck you territory. So I think that not only was it a change in direction, but it was a change in direction of fundamental principles for Nintendo, which I think is troubling because Nintendo is usually first and foremost about fun. Their games are looped around the idea of being an enjoyable gameplay experience. And now they've broken out of that to try and be innovative. And I don't know. That's the seventh seal. End times are coming. I don't fucking know. But
Brett,
like,
would you say that Nintendo should hold on, Bruce? I gotta get this. Brett, would you say that Nintendo should have stayed in its lane?
Yes. Yes.
Oh man.
Jesus Christ. They blue shelled themselves.
Perfect.
Well,
Go ahead, Chris.
I mean, there's thought, Brett, but they're thinking about engagement. Like, that's what they're thinking about.
Oh,
when
my favorite word.
Yeah, remember, like, that's the new thing now, engagement. They're all concerned about the hours you're spending on the system and in the games, right? So how do they extend that? And they did it in the most non-fun way possible, right? We'll just make people drive between races so they stay in the game. And it's like, no, but that's not the way you do it. People just want to race.
How about
They just want to
traffic
enjoy
jam?
this shit with their friends.
That's engagement. Traffic jams are engagement, right?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. This is a different game, but it's still the same kind of thing. It's like, when you try to make something a little bit, quote unquote, more realistic, things fall apart, right? Like
No.
Yeah,
no. I have a very different point than that, and that's and I, not just because I'm being pedantic here, but because I think it's important. I think this is an issue of alignment, right? Like, they're changing the metrics by which they measure these things, and they're not doing it for us, right? They're not doing it so that they can better understand the gamer. They're doing it as a metric point to sell shares to fucking shareholders, right? So they're changing the very metric that they judge things by, and that is not in alignment with what we want, right? And that's, I think alignment is a thing that we should be discussing, honestly, beyond, like, the fact that we only talk about it in AI is a little bit weird to me, but, like, because honestly, I think most of the time when we're talking consumerism or pro-consumer stuff, like, companies are going to make money. That's the whole point of a company. The idea here is to align the motivations between the consumer and the company. If you both want the same thing, then you're both going to walk out happy. And the fact that Nintendo has changed the way that they are measuring games away from how much fun are they having to a different thing that lets us sell for stock prices more, like that's what I find a little bit alarming, because to me, like, that's the last bastion of, like, that was the last good thing Nintendo did, was worry about how fun their games were. And now if they've changed fun to metrics or fun to engagement, like, I don't know, man. That's maybe I'm being a little bit gloom and doom about it, but that's the beginning of the gaming apocalypse. Like, if there was one sure sign that we are coming for the crash of the
game industry.
There you go. Thank you. That would be it to me. Where Nintendo abandons fun.
Yeah, go ahead, Manny.
So, the thing about it is, it's like, I don't know if I see it that doom and gloomy with it. I just see, like, them, at least in this Mario Kart situation, it's them attempting to do Burnout Paradise without having the resources. You know?
I mean, they try and do a lot of stuff without the resources, and I get it, but And I agree. I'm jumping at shadows and way over. I'm more recognizing a pattern here that I'm like, this feels like it's a fundamental change in philosophy. And oftentimes when I see that, I see big effects downstream. So like, call this the my Miss Cleo moment. Like, I'm telling you, when I see people's base motivations change, you're going to see big downstream consequences, and it won't be right away, but it'll be there.
Yeah, we should be fair here, though. Mario Kart's the only example we have here, so just keep that in perspective.
I'm pairing that with the yes, one point of data does not make a pattern, but I'm also kind of pairing that with the overall vibe of the Switch 2 release, the price, the support, their response, the Power World lawsuit. Like, they seem to have lost the mark of, hey, let's be the best, to hey, let's just try and death grip this position that we have. And that's not good, because there's nobody trying to be the best anymore.
Yeah, but the thing is, the Power World situation is perfectly in line with Nintendo. That is absolutely something Nintendo would do.
No, I know.
It's just bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but that's, I guess what I'm saying is, it paints the picture of the litigious bullshit, and the copy pasting greed is the only thing Nintendo has left. I'm not really seeing a lot of, like, even down to what was like the fucking Spring Arm boxing game, like for the last Switch. Like, that game was fun.
Arms?
It was a
Arms.
Arms. Yeah, Arms was a complete failure.
Yeah,
and it did not work on a macro scale at all. But like, it was a cool idea, and it showed Nintendo trying to work outside the box. I don't see this generation's Nintendo willing to do that, and I think that's because the risk for them has become too high, and Nintendo has become risk averse and begun playing it safe, which again is all, upstream motivation stuff, but I think it belies a lot of what we've been talking about for years.
Yeah, no, you're right with that part, because the Switch 2 is literally Switch 2. Like, a lot of people complain that it wasn't innovating like the original Switch was. So you do have.
It's more expensive.
It is more expensive. But I'm basically like, it's not
innovating
like,
in that way.
Yeah, well, I mean, other companies are doing the same thing too, aren't they? Which is annoying. Paying $100 extra for a 5-year-old console, but that's beside the point.
And that's why I'm telling you that Steam box, like, that saving the $10 to $15 a month on internet, shit's gonna pay for itself.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. All right, man, let's move on. Got to talk about Monster Hunter again. Now, I do want to preface that this isn't confirmed yet, but interesting. So somebody on Reddit noticed that the game performs better if you have more DLC installed. Just fucking wild. So this is what they said. The more DLC you own, the better performance you get in the game. On the account with no DLC, I get heavy and stable FPS drops down to 20 to 25 FPS in hubs, while in the account with all DLC bought, it's 80 plus frames per second. So I've never heard of a situation like that before, where you get better performance if you have more DLC installed. Pretty funky.
Is it optimization or restriction?
Maybe both. I don't know.
I'm asking somebody who might know this stuff better than me.
Yeah, I don't know.
The Twitter. I can't remember, but the account that spotted this is also the same person that also spotted the issues with Dragon's Dogma.
Yeah.
And they actually made Capcom aware of this. So it has to do with I think it has to do with priority, or something that happened that they have running in their system. In fact, there was a Twitter. I think I might have posted the Twitter thing that sort of explained it. Explained how it works.
Let's see if you did.
At least I did see it.
I don't think they explained it too deeply. Mm-hmm. But I think what's happening is, like, there's probably flags in the code where it's like, the list of DLC and whatever add-ons the game has, and if they're false, this licensing software keeps checking against that. But if the flag is true, if you have the DLC, then it skips the checks, right? And if they're all probably flagged true, then it doesn't check at all, right? Which is why the performance is going up.
Okay, so you think it's a restriction gate, basically, slowing it down.
Check this out. This is what somebody posted. Chris, you posted this in the Twitter. I'm just going to read these. These are bullet points. Owning more DLC equals more FPS. This is due to an aggressive check the game does to see what DLC you own. It is not intentional by Capcom, but this constant check causes performance dips. The user created a mod that tricks the game into thinking you own all DLC and notice immediate improvements. All information has been sent to Capcom support. And like Manny said, the same user has already helped Capcom solve a performance issue in Dragon's Dogma 2. So basically, the game's constantly checking for what DLC you have, and that's what's causing the problems. Which is fucking nuts.
The mod is setting all the flags off, right? It's
Yeah.
just saying everything is installed, so the license, the check doesn't happen anymore, and it's not doing a performance hit.
That is crazy.
Okay, so I'm glad I'm on camera and I have my angry old man dick. It's this kind of bullshit that makes me angry at the efficiency of some big companies, right? Because it's shit like this, or like Blizzard puts out a game where their menu screen has a fucking, like, where you enter your fucking password has an uncapped FPS, and so it's trying to run at like 300 frames per second, melting people's fucking graphics cards. Like it's shit like this that has gone through quality checks of huge AAA companies with giant budgets, and you're still like, this is some basic, like, modders are going to figure this shit out in half a day. You crowdsource this to the internet for free and get better results. Like, and then just gift anybody who figured it out like $5 in the fucking Capcom. So like we can crowdfund this shit. We're smarter than this. It's frustrating that shit this stupid still makes its way through, and there's no good reason to. Because, like, immediately, like, as soon as you said it, like, I don't even know shit about programming. And even I'm like, yeah, this sounds like an aggressive restriction thing. Like, it's just understanding that simple, stupid shit like that happens from highly trained professionals that you're like, oh, yeah, that's why the game industry is going to collapse and AA is going to basically step up. Because I think I'm not really sure what the point of 2,000 employees is if you're just going to be doing dumb shit like that.
Yeah, well, maybe it's because they have 2,000 employees that shit like this happens. It's too many cooks in the kitchen.
That's actually a very good point. I hadn't thought of it that way, but I'm going to now.
Yeah, like if you have so many people, things are going to fall by the wayside.
I just assumed it was like, because like I watched my dad, like I said before, like work his way up from like blue collar to kind of middle management, and hit kind of a ceiling of basically just rich fucks above that, and the disconnect between them was troubling to him, but honestly it was difficult for me to watch. Because the gulf between him and the upper executives they were the ones getting the big bonuses. They were the ones hitting the numbers. And they would do so by coming to my dad and telling him to cut 20% of his team.
Brutal.
20% of the team that he spent day in, day out with, that he knew the names of all their family members. Like, and my dad was a good man. He was an emotional man, and I watched that crush him. And I eventually took a pay decrease to like phase out that job just so we didn't have to ruin people's lives anymore. Like it's fucking brutal. And they could have hit those numbers by just Like, they could hit those numbers by not giving that upper echelon their bonuses, or they could have given every one of those upper echelon their bonuses by shit canning one of them. Just a single one. But instead, they decided to axe 20% of the team that did the fucking work. And I will, I think, forever until the day I die, hold malice in my heart for systems like that.
Fuck the middle managers.
No, even the middle managers. That's what my dad
guys
was.
Hate? Aren't those guys you hate?
It's the upper management.
Okay, gotcha.
Because my dad was the middle manager, right? Like, there have to be people in charge of these teams, and honestly, a lot of times they care. The problem is that the people who are above that, right? The assholes who call and check in to a branch once a fucking quarter, they don't know anybody's fucking name, and they'd be like, well, we need to hit target marks because profit is down, and I want to buy a yacht this year, so cut 30% of your profits. It's every time you hear the fucking layoffs, all the people that are getting fucking laid off. It's the people who aren't getting laid off that I'm pissed off at, because they're the ones that are telling they're being like, well, we need to hit these numbers, and I want my bonus, so lay off a bunch of people that did really hard work that we told them to do. Like, no, your problem is in your management, your commander, right? Like, take your commander out back and fucking shoot him. Don't start executing soldiers. The fuck's your problem? Because oftentimes it's hard-working, talented people that end up getting the fucking axe by the raw dog of fate, because some asshole who lucked his way upwards because of fucking nepotism doesn't want to own up to their mistakes, either because of ego or financial loss. And I find that lack of value and morals despicable.
Yeah, I want to read this real quick from Jeffrey in the chat. He goes, too many people can be a detriment. I've seen at an old job how bad copy, he's a writer, would get published because other editors assumed somebody read it. Yeah. Like,
interesting.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like when there's too many people around, they're just going to slip by. Think about this. Expert 33, if something's fucked up, they could be like, hey, Bobby, this shit's fucked up. Let's fix it. Now, if you had 500 people, hey, this thing's messed up, put it up the chain of command, and then somebody forgets about it. Well,
yeah, just some dissemination responsibility. Honestly, I'm gonna have to ponder that because I'm still sure that, like, it's still. I mean, there's not a great way to say that. I'm still sure I have a point, but that's a really great perspective that I hadn't thought of. So thank you for bringing that up to me. I'm gonna really think on that, because, like, now it kind of makes me wonder, like, is there a perfect size team?
I would probably think there is, depending on the game, because there might be some games where you do need a lot of people, but I think it's a case-by-case basis. But I do think overall there can't be a point where it's like, okay, this is way too many fucking people now. This is why we have games that. How long was that credits for? Shadows, like 3 hours or something. I am not exaggerating. Like,
oh my fucking God.
I guarantee you 2/3 of those fucking people did not even work on the game.
Okay, so free brilliant business idea for somebody who wants to take it up, because I got too many goddamn irons in the fire, right? Somebody do a Sweet Baby Inc., but for what fucking Tony's talking about. Like, figure out a good ratio, a good formula for, like, supervisors and people working on a team, and a way to disseminate projects onto them, and then hire a consultant team for that instead of diversity writing.
Yeah. All right, man, let's move on here.
One more thing.
Yeah.
One more thing. On that Hey Bobby thing for Expedition 33, obviously it didn't work with them because they still left their temporary AI art in the game, and Bobby didn't replace it.
Oh, yeah, Bobby, you fucked up. You fucked
Bobby
up, Bobby.
Fucked up. And they didn't replace it until the community said, "Hey, wait a minute, that's fucking AI art." Oh,
yeah, and in their case, it's probably not Bobby; it's probably Pierre.
See, again, that'd be a great place for a consulting group, right? Like, you should run a consulting through several consulting groups. One of them should be a group of 13-year-old boys, so that any of the shit that you're like, that's clearly a dick, like, that gets erased, right? Like. So, like, we're putting our resources in the wrong places. I'm telling you.
Yeah. All right, man. Speaking about Capcom, Manny, I threw this in here for you. There was a Resident Evil Requiem showcase today, 12 minutes long. Showed some gameplay, Leon, but I didn't get to see this. You did. So what happened in it?
So, I mean, it's a 12-minute long thing, and to be honest, like, I think a lot of people thought it was going to be 12 minutes of gameplay. No, it's literally like you get to see a little bit. You actually get to see a little bit more of Leon's gameplay, and you get to see his. I guess they're like special kills that he has for all.
Yeah,
the monsters,
I saw some
like
of that.
Zombies. Well, like he'll kick a zombie in the wall, like head into the wall, and make their head explode and. He has like some Devil May Cry.
He has like execution moves. Yeah, and he does a spinneroonie, shoots the zombie in the back of the head.
Yeah.
There's one point where he'll kick there's a monster with a zombie with a chainsaw, and he'll kick the chainsaw, and it'll go into this chest, and it's like John Wick kills. You know, like he like quickly.
Well,
kills
what's
them.
great is he can now pick up the weapons.
Yeah,
he picked up the chainsaw and used it, which is cool. And then instead of the knife, now he carries a hatchet.
Yeah, he's got a hatchet.
He was sharpening it, like
it has a gameplay aspect of it to where he can you can sharpen the hatchet to make it a little bit more effective, I guess. And then
places repairing it.
Yeah,
and then for the girl. She's got she has this side ability where essentially she takes like samples from like zombie flesh, and then she can make like essentially like things that pretty much destroy their DNA or whatever. So she stabs one of the zombies in the head, and then they just explode.
That's pretty awesome.
Oh, that's dope as fuck.
Yeah. It's honestly like the most gory Resident Evil, I think. Just between his kills, and then she's exploding zombies with the fucking whatever she mixed up. Yeah.
Though I was watching it with a friend, and I was like, man, this I know this thing has a first person mode. Him twirling around and doing all that shit. What the fuck does that look like in first person mode?
Point,
yeah, they said that. I don't know that's gonna work. I'm not gonna play in that mode. There's no way I'm gonna do that stuff.
Do people like those contextual takedowns? Because like I personally hate that shit. I feel like it's inconsistent and it takes the control away from me. And like I also don't love cute quick time events. So maybe that's just me.
That's probably what it is. Yeah, because I think those contextual kills are fucking dope.
Okay,
they're fun.
They look cool. They look cool, but I would feel like hopefully they have enough of them in it so where it doesn't become so repetitive. It's like, oh, it's the same spin move.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you get tired of it.
It feels like I'm not doing it. Like I'm like that's not me. It feels like mapping a special move for a fighting game character to a Mad Catz controller. You press the button and you do a Hadouken, and you're like, yeah, but did you though?
Yeah, no, but an action game like that is fine. I don't mind.
Because in RE4, it was an ammo saving technique. You would shoot the zombie in the knee. Right, stun him, and it would say kick. It would like hit A to kick, and then he would do a roundhouse kick, knock him down. You move, right? You get out of the way.
Yeah, that's what I did. I shoot him in the knee and then hit the contacts and hit him. Save ammo that way. And you're still hitting X. You're still doing it.
I guess that felt more of a 1-to-1. Like that felt like kicking to me.
Yeah, because you go up to him, you press X, and you kick. But I do agree with you with because sometimes it is inconsistent. That does bug me. Like,
well, I'm not even talking about I haven't seen this, but I've seen some games where like the whole point is like, it's got a whole bunch of context takedowns, and I'm like, yeah, it just feels like I'm playing Dragon's Lair at a certain point.
Yeah. No, there's a fine balance here, but Resident Evil seems to do it pretty well most of the time, in my opinion.
I'm excited about this one. This one seems like they're actually being like, hey, what do people like about Resident Evil? Maybe we should do some of that.
Yeah. Although to be fair, they have the last two Resident Evils were also really, really good, and people like those as well.
They were, but they were different. This one seems very fan servicey.
Yeah, this one is kind of going back, but you could also still make it like the other two Resident Evils and play in first person mode. But I see what you're saying there because they could bring Leon back.
I had a thing. I was joking with my friend when I was watching this. I was like, this is sort of like a redo of Resident Evil 6.
No, that's not a good thing.
It's like, no, like in other words, a better redo.
Oh,
of whatever
gotcha.
they did
Yeah.
with Resident Evil 6.
Yeah, a mulligan on 6. I'd take that. I'd take that Terminator timeline if they just went back and undid Terminator 6.
Oh God!
I mean,
with this,
like Resident Evil 6 was like was literally the action movie game. Remember,
Yeah.
it was like half of it was trying to be a survival horror game, and then half of it was this big action movie, and then it just became an action movie with Leon and Chris.
I feel like Resident Evil really had an
jumping
identity
between
crisis.
characters.
Yeah. What are you gonna say, Brett?
Oh, I feel like Resident Evil really had an identity crisis right about that time.
It did. That's why they redid everything with 7. It's like, okay, we're starting over again. Not in terms of the story, but in terms of the gameplay. It's like, okay, we need to make this shit scary again. And they're like, okay, look what PT did. Let's do that. Let's just be honest. That's what happened.
I feel like 7's what happens when you let generations of interns write the script.
What do you mean?
Like, if I want to be more specific about it, it's that fucking and I think Manny's probably the only person who knows understands what I'm talking about. That fucking CalArts animation style.
Wait, 7?
What? Yeah. Well, okay. By that I mean like, so in the CalArts animation style, the whole point was it developed as its own style because people from CalArts studied animation. And then they made animation that was then studied by other people from CalArts, and it became this weird game of telephone until it became like this, and that's when that fucking like Steven Universe style fucking came out.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's what everything was, that style, because everything was just in this bubble of repeating itself until it and each time it repeated itself, it lost something, right? And I feel like that's what Resident Evil 7 was. Like
7,
each time,
like that was like one of the few, like the first games that was kind of like, that was the first Resident Evil game that was in first person. So I'm not understanding how it's generic when it's the first Resident Evil to do something like that.
No, I didn't say it was generic. I said I feel like it was losing its identity because it had been.
Yeah, 6
am I thinking of 6?
Yeah, it's thinking of 6 because 6 was the one where it was losing identity. Then they go, "Hey, remember, we're supposed to be a scary game." And then 7 redid the whole thing. That's why you had the whole, yeah.
6, the action game. The action game.
Yes. There we go. I was like 7.
Well, let's be honest.
The action one was written by people who've been like, I've heard of a Resident Evil before. My buddy played one time.
Yeah. You could. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Well, let's be honest. It might not have been a return to form, like you said, if PT didn't happen.
Yeah,
because I swear to God, they looked at that shit. They were like,
they saw PT. It's like, yo, let's do that.
Yeah, that's how we get back to basics.
And they got lucky because PT didn't come out. So Resident Evil was the first kind of game that it wasn't the first game, but it really brought that style to like AAA.
Dude, that was the most most influential non-game ever.
It's amazing, isn't it? A fucking demo influenced an entire genre for the entirety of that generation.
But it never came out.
And it never came out. Oh, man. But yeah, Resident Evil Requiem comes out February 20-something at the end of the of 27th.
That's the day one for me.
Yeah, you already know. And
Game Pass?
Yeah, and stay tuned. That's all I can say about that. Stay tuned. I think you guys know what I mean by that. Stay tuned. You may hear more about Resident Evil Requiem from me. All right, so this next story is kind of fun. In a promotion for Forza Horizon 5, it actually accidentally leaked the release date for Forza Horizon 6, which is hilarious. So it seems that the game will drop on May 19th, and the Prima Edition will drop on Manny's birthday, May 15th, which is pretty interesting. So there you go. But this says it's coming to Xbox and PC with PS5 later. So it's not going to be day and date. Because I was wondering, I'm like, oh, is this going to be day and date? What's going on here? But no, it's going to come out later. But it is just funny how this particular leak just came out because of this, Is anybody excited for Forza Horizon Tokyo, as I'm calling it? I'm gonna take that as a no.
Not really.
Oh man,
it's a car game.
Yeah, so there you go.
I mean, it'll look nice.
It'll look nice, yeah. I'll play it on PlayStation. Oh man. And then the last story, this one's for fun. Sonic the Hedgehog, 35th anniversary, 35 years of Sonic. Sega put out a trailer. The trailer kind of bugged me because they were showing too much movie shit. I'm like, really? Like, you're kind of fucking up the feel here. But yeah, no, Sonic was great, man. I still remember playing that shit on Genesis. Because that's the Genesis I bought that was bundled with Sonic. And it was just like a revelation, back when I was like 11, I think it was when it came out. The speed of it, quote unquote blast processing and all that. And until this day, man, I still at least once a year, I will still go through the first Sonic game because it's just so much fun, So it's kind of cool. I don't know what else Sega's going to be doing for the 5th anniversary of Sonic. I would have loved another 2D Sonic game, but I don't think that's been announced. They probably have some fucking Sonic card shit or whatever. Another trash. That's the thing about Sonic. It's an interesting franchise because it's like, just like The Simpsons, it's been bad for most of its existence. If you really think about it, like after.
Oh, Riku hear you say that.
I know Riku won't like that, so Riku, apologies to you. But after, in my opinion, after the 2D era, it just hasn't been the same. That's why we loved, on this podcast specifically, love Sonic Mania because they brought us back to that era that, Sonic really embodied and stuff. But it's cool, man. Sonic, I love all those games, like the 2D games. Like like I said, I play them at least once a year. My favorite is still Sonic CD. That one's fantastic. But that first Sonic game is a special title, man. What about the rest of you guys? Do you have any Sonic stories from the old days?
Oh, I love the fucking Dreamcast one with the chows and shit. You don't
Wait, Sonic Adventure? Really?
Yeah. Go ahead, Chris. What were you gonna say?
Oh, well, when you said you bought the Genesis bundle with Sonic, and I'm like, old man here, I bought mine with Altered Beast.
Hey, there you go. Yeah, man. Yeah, Sonic was fun, man. That game really helped Sega out. Like a lot of, if you read the book Console War, they talk about how Tom Kalinske, he was the guy who's like, yo, we got to bundle this game with the system. We can't bundle with Altered Beast. He's the one that made that decision, and it worked out well, And we eventually got Sonic Tuesday, which was like the first game released worldwide. Like before that, games just came out random days. There was no, nowadays we have this game launches on February 27th or shit like that. That did not exist before that. And then obviously the second game that did that was Mortal Kombat, Mortal Monday, and then Sonic 3, we all know about that, the whole Michael Jackson controversy and all that, which I'm still kind of upset about because they re-released it without all those songs, it's like, yo, this doesn't feel the same, man, because all those songs were great back in the day for all those games. But yeah, man, Sonic, that guy has a special place in my heart, All right, so let's start wrapping up here. Let's plug some. I'll actually be plugging stuff today for myself. So I will not be on the Sunday show because that night I'm going to be at the New York City Video Game Critics Circle Awards presenting once again. So Check that out. Yeah, we're going to be live on Twitch. I believe the show starts at 8 p.m. and this is a real award show. Like we don't have ads and shit everywhere like the Jeff Keighley show. So good times, very New York centric. So expect all that stuff. You'll see me up there on stage. It'll be good times. So check that out. But the fellas here, premieres. No world premieres. Just hey, these are the games we like. Celebrate them. That's it. Just brass tacks. Which is always fun. And we're also doing something controversial, which we always do every year. We have the Game Awards on in January instead of December because we got to celebrate December games too, unlike Jeff Keighley's show,
Again, weird.
Yeah, very, very strange. But yeah, check me out. It'll be a lot of fun. So that's what I got. Manny, you got anything?
Yes, I certainly do. Okay, so out on the streets right now or coming soon is Blood and Thunder number, I can't remember, but anyway, Kari and I did covers for Blood and Thunder, so whatever version of Blood and Thunder is out there, which is written by Robert Kirkman, and the book is drawn by EJ, who are former Tech Jacket folks, so it's all, a bunch of nostalgia there from that, but it's all new franchise, which is great, because there's only so long we can keep repeating ourselves about the same old stuff over and over again. It's nice to have something new. So yeah, so that's out now, and then coming in March is TMNT, what was it? TMNT Battle Nexus, which has another cover by Kari and myself. Us on the TMNT 2003 side, which, as you know, both he and I worked on the series. And the other side is drawn by the director of the 2012 show. So it's our Turtles versus the 2012, the 203s versus the 12 Turtles. So that's a really, really cool cover. A lot of fans are really happy about it, especially fans of the later shows as opposed to the, the 80s stuff. So that's going to be coming out in March.
So Manny,
as far as,
real quick, am I understanding then that's like a collaborative cover between you and...
Yes, it is a collaborative cover. So like half of it is our original TMNT 2003 team, and then the other half was done by the director of the series, the 2012 show. We've actually this is the first Jam cover we've done, but all those covers for so that's issue 5. All of the covers for the series are all Jam covers drawn by either people who have worked on the iteration or some other capacity. So there's a cover with the movie Turtles versus the previous Turtle iteration before the movie came out. I can't. I guess they're called Rise of the TMNT. So so it's sort of like style clashes too. So it's a fun. So it's a fun little thing, and it's all a big old brawl between all iterations of Turtles. I'm sure the winners of this thing is probably going to be the current iteration of Turtles, because you know how it is. They gotta sell the new guy. Everybody else has got to go out on their back. And you got to sell for the new hot talent. So, a lot of cool crossovers that they got going on there. So it was a big deal. We actually did this cover a while ago, I think, maybe halfway through the year last year, we worked on it. So they had us do it way out in advance. So yeah, that's coming out in March.
All right. Brett, you want to plug your stuff?
Yeah, sure. Check out my Instagram, Brett Murdoch Tattoo. I haven't done shit about it. I've been taking it easy, man.
That's good.
Yeah,
stay away from social media as much as you can, and then come back charged, I guess.
Honestly, what's weird is normally I stay fairly away from social media, especially Facebook and everything like that. But with this whole basically them doing an MK Ultra on me, I've just been straight up very open and apparent with my clients, and one of the things I've kind of learned is the more feral I am with my tattoo audience, the better they respond. Tattooing is not a thing where filters and curated experiences and shit like that, that's kind of a new thing. And I come from a time when your tattoo artist had to be a little bit fucking crazy. So honestly, being open and blatantly honest about it, and just being full on balls out weird has been to my advantage. And the thing that's really I've come to realize is dude, I will trade 1 hour of sitting down and tattooing you for a dozen hours hanging out with you as in some sort of fucking friend group. Because in that 1 hour, I'm a put you through the ringer. You are going to face a trial. It's and by that I mean in a very literal sense. You're going to do something that is objectively hard and prove to yourself that you can do it through efficacy. And in doing so, you're going to fucking spill your guts because I'm stabbing you with a needle, right? And you're going to talk about some traumatizing shit and why you're getting this and your life lessons and your hopes and your dreams and what makes you a fucking person. And we're going to get into that shit, right? And I'm like, I'm going to get to know you more as a tattoo artist in the span of an hour than I'm going to get to know, like, you know, like a dozen nights of drinking, right? So, like...
That's funny.
I've always said that, like, at least knowing from my girlfriend, you know, getting tattoos and stuff, and also knowing it's almost, it's in a weird sort of way. It seems like psychology, like you're like a psychotherapist at the same time. It is.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Because like, and you know, I won't really talk much about this, but that's something that I'm touching on, and I have a thesis paper in the works on. But yeah, I don't want to talk about stuff until I'm doing it. That's going to be a couple years and a master's degree away. But I'm interested in following up on that. But like, yeah, because you know, people are going to dump a lot of their trauma on you as they're being grounded in somatic response, and their bodies being filled with endorphins and adrenaline, which is helping them process that image or whatever trauma they've gone through. And it actually like uses a lot of the same mechanisms that like EMDR does to rewrite it from one part of the brain to the other. And really anybody who's ever been through some shit and gotten a tattoo afterwards will tell you, like, oh yeah, that shit's fucking therapy, in a way that regular therapy, like talk therapy doesn't work for guys. I know it's going to shock a lot of the audience here, a lot of our male audience, but like talk therapy, it's not super great for a lot of guys, because it's just talking about feelings. It's not turning them into agency. It's not doing the not the toxic-y kind of masculine, but the actual masculine thing of like being sovereign over your own emotions, controlling them, using them, that kind of thing. So like just sitting there and bitching about stuff doesn't really help. You know what does is giving somebody a fucking blood trial. Here's the thing. See if you can man up and get stabbed with needles by 4 hours and then come out the other side embodying a fucking wolf. How's that? Nice. And then you got a badass wolf tattoo, and every time you fucking feel like a bitch, you look at your wolf tattoo and you're like, I mean, it did sit through that. Boom, fucking efficacy. Right? So yeah, I'm fully a believer in and I'm really kind of embracing that. For other people, like I'm getting ready to like make a fucking Facebook. It's just, here's my business. But honestly, like it's, if you try and remove the crazy feral from the tattoo artist, you just get some bougie and authentic bullshit. And I don't think anybody fucking wants that. I'm also in talks about another project about possibly being able to just link up people with tattoos, because I am so fucking sick of hearing people on Facebook being like, hey, does anybody know anybody can do a black and gray dragon? I'm like, a dragon isn't a specialty, you fucking douche canoe.
Douche canoe.
So like it's I'm talking I'm in talks with some of the talent around town about making a kind of a connection service, talent agency for lack of a better term. And I'm thinking about writing a book on the iconography and lexicon of tattoo imagery, which is a thing we should be fucking talking about, because like I have 20 years of people coming to me trying to distill their entire human experience down into a few images and then working with a limited dictionary. Like, somebody needs to write that shit down, because the best we have now is people are like, we call it like symbolism or a collective unconscious. I'm like, bitch, like, can we half the tattoos I do are fucking memento mori. They're reminders of our immortality and that you will die, to use the time that you have to like give an or a theme of fucking rebirth. The fact that we have a dictionary, but not a dictionary for visual imagery, is fucking bullshit. So yeah, I don't know. As my brain came back online, now I have ideas again. I gotta say, it sucked being stupid for a while. It really did. I don't recommend it.
All right. On that note, let's wrap it up here. So make sure you follow Throwdown on Twitch and Twitter. Subscribe on YouTube. Join the Discord. And check us out on your favorite podcast app. Links to everything down below. Once again, our show is Tony Polanco. And tonight, I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you next time.
Chris Seeley.
Take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
Peace out.
Brett Murdoch.
Deuces.
And yes, he was here. Mr. Brian Manjoma.
Actually playing games after a long while.
Oh, that's good. What are you playing? What you playing, man?
A Souls-like that came out last year called AI Limit.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
I feel like Brian's that character in the first session of every D&D game that is quietly lurking in a shadowy corner.
Yeah, that works. That's awesome. All right, guys, we'll be back on Sunday. And again, remember, I will not be here. So check out Throwdown first, then watch the Game Awards later. Because I want you to watch Throwdown, man. All right.
You can do both.
Yeah, you can do both. Yeah, it's true. Because Throwdown will be on just as we're kind of getting to the end of the Game Awards. Or the Game Awards may already be over. Actually, it may be over. Because they give us the boot at 11. Fucking unions and shit. So awards gonna be so you'll probably be able to do both. So watch the New York Video Game Critics Circle Awards, then watch Throwdown.
Don't have to be live. Y'all know you got fucking laundry to fold.
This is true. Have us in the background. All right, guys. Later.
Peace.
Laters.